Hey guys, so here I've got a two-piece mask. It comes in a top half and a bottom half. So the top half is black and the bottom half is red, as you can see. And they've also got magnet holes, so you can apply magnets to where I've modeled out those holes. And so you basically those magnets they align together when the two-part masks are clicked in together. And so these holes are actually designed for 3 by 2 millimeter magnets. So you need to get a hold of those. So 3 mil wide and 2 mil tall. And what you see here, what I'm doing is I'm just marking out the directions of the magnets, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that the magnets are facing the right direction when you glue them in, because if you glue them in facing the wrong direction, they will actually do the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So it'll repel each other instead of attracting each other. And that's not what you want to be. You don't want to have that problem, because then you'll have to get a tool like a pair of pliers or an Exacto knife to try to like get those magnets out once it's glued in, and that's a nightmare. So you want to really make sure at this stage that you're gluing that you're marking out the magnets and which way they're facing, and you want to make sure you're gluing them in the right direction. So right here, I'm marking them out with a Sharpie just to mark out which sides are facing upward. So right now, all the uh, magnets that are facing upward will be marked in black, which I'm doing right now. So you've got to make sure, this is just to ensure that they're facing the right way. And what I do is also, when I mark these magnets black, I make sure to separate them away from any other magnets, because if the ink from the Sharpie is still wet on the magnet and you click it in with the other magnets, then that ink will apply to the other magnets, and that's not what you want. So you want to try to make sure when you mark your magnets that you set them aside, each one aside, and just make sure that they don't accidentally attract each other. And so in this stage, yeah, I'm just going through and marking out 26 of them, because on each side there's 13 magnets. So in the top half there's 13 magnets, and the bottom half there's 13 magnets. And yeah, just marking out all the right sides. So in this case, I'm marking out 13, and I'll be sticking them on the bottom half of the mask. And then once I've done that, I go and mark the other 13 and then stick it on the top half. Now, when you're gluing these in, I like to use just a regular super glue, one that's not too runny. The glue that I like to use, it's by a brand called Loctite, and to be specific, it's the Loctite 406. I find that one's not too runny, and it's actually very, very strong as a super glue. So also, when you're gluing these in, you also might want to wear gloves, but in my case, I tend not to, because I just find that gloves are getting a bit annoying. Uh, if I get super glue on my hands, it does get annoying, but it washes away after half a day. So yeah, you just drop a few drops of super glue into those holes, not too much. Make sure it's not too runny, and then I place one of the magnets onto an Exacto knife and make sure that it's facing the right way. And because the Exacto knife is metal, the magnets will naturally attract to the Exacto knife. And all you got to do is just push it into the hole and just slide the Exacto knife away from the magnet, and it should just stick into that hole nicely. And from this point, and once you've stuck that in, I grab a paper towel and just wipe the area down. And I also wipe my Exacto knife as well, because if you don't wipe the Exacto knife, then that'll still stay wet. And when you apply your next magnet, the super glue might stick to the magnet. Right now, just grabbing the next magnet and making sure the black is facing upward. And the magnet should magnetically attract to the Exacto knife. 1 or 2 drops of super glue into the hole. One drop of super glue onto the magnet. And all you got to do is just push it into the hole and slide your Exacto knife away. Then straight away, I'll wipe down the area and wipe down my Exacto knife. And then it's just a matter of rinsing and repeating. Now, there is another way you can also secure these magnets into the holes, which is to use a 2-part putty, which might be better if you don't like using super glue. I know super glue can get pretty messy, so the 2-part putty is actually, it might be a bit better if you don't like the mess of super glue. So with the 2-part putty, all you're going to need to do is just mix the 2 parts together and roll it into a little ball, like a little ball of Play-Doh. And then you stick the little ball into the hole, followed by the magnet. And then after maybe 10 minutes, the 2-part putty will set and that magnet will be stuck in there nicely. So that's another method you can do if you don't like super glue. Because yes, super glue can get quite messy if you're quite new to putting magnets into these masks. And one other thing I would recommend is you glue these magnets in before you do your final paint. So if you have a fresh 3D print, I would do all my sanding and priming first, get it to a nice finish, nice smooth finish. Then I would glue these magnets in. And after that, after I've gotten it nice and glued in and they're working, they're both attached properly, that's when I would actually apply my final paint, whether it's spraying your automotive paints or brushing, your hobby paints. I'll do all that stuff after I glue these magnets in, because if you glue the magnets in after you've done your final paint, you don't want to be getting any of that super glue on your paint job, because then it'll be ruining the beautiful paint job that you've done already. So that's what I would recommend. So that's really it. You're basically just making sure that those magnets are facing the right way, so by marking them with a Sharpie. And when you put them in, you place it onto an Exacto knife and 2 drops of super glue into the holes. And then with your Exacto knife, you drop the magnet into the hole and slide your Exacto knife away. And you can also hold down the magnet with your thumb. Your thumb does get a bit messy with the super glue, but you just got to have some paper towel nearby. And once you've slid the magnets in and it's sitting there nicely, you just wipe away straight away with the paper towel and wipe away your Exacto knife. And then after that, it's just rinse and repeat. And so now I'm doing the top half of the mask, and basically it's the opposite. So if I've marked the magnets black, I want the magnet to have no black when it's facing outward. So when I place it on the Exacto knife, I'm basically doing the opposite to what I did before. So what I like to do, just to be 100% sure, is I like to double check that it's actually attracting instead of repelling. So just do a double check before you glue it in, and that'll ensure that these 2 halves connect properly and are attracting each other properly. And so that's basically it. So that's the way I like to attach my magnets. I will have another video coming out that will explain a way to attach magnets to a 3D print that doesn't have any magnet holes modeled into it. And so stay tuned, that'll be coming up in the next video. If you enjoyed watching this video or learned something from this or got anything out of this, then please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified when videos like this come out. I do have a Patreon, so if you want to support me, head over to my Patreon site. I give away free monthly STLs every month for just $10 a month. So head on over and check out what I have to offer. Okay, thanks guys. See you in the next video.